Hi guys, and welcome back to the development videos. This is what I'm trying to do here. I'll just run it first so you can see. Is I'm trying to work out how to shatter a character. So this character on the right here will be running around a predefined path like this, and what I want is to swap it out for that character there which fell down, so that when they die they can fall realistically. But actually I want to swap it for a shattered version of this one, and to do that I'm going to detect when this character dies, and then at the point where they die I'm going to read every detail about the bones that are telling it the position to be in, and swap it out for the broken one, which will then replace it seamlessly and shatter using the physics of Unity, if that makes sense. It's quite a hard one to explain, especially when you've been messing around with it all day. So essentially, just to summarize this, if I shot this person here and they died in the code, I swap them for a shattered version which then falls on the ground, and it's moving at the same speed, and every limb is at the right rotation and position as the old one. So it should provide some nice sort of death animations when the character sort of petrifies and explodes on the ground. Anyway, to get to that point, I have to write some of my own stuff. So I've added to my little tool set here, I've got this thing called Bone Monitor. Now if I click on the hip bone of the test dude, then as you can see there, it shows the ragdoll around him, and my little script here will go through and show every single piece of his body, every bone and that, with the position and the rotation updating live. And then I have this button at the bottom called Copy Ragdoll Params. So what that does is it grabs everything about him as is and applies it to the guy lying on the floor. So my theory was that once that happened, you would end up having two guys running on top of each other in exactly the same fashion, because the guy lying on the ground would be taking his data live from this guy all the time, the running one. But what happens is actually different because of the way ragdolls work, I guess, and the purpose of this video is to show people and see if anyone can suggest what's happening. Now I'm only copying the position and the rotation, and it's doing it in a loop constantly, so I would assume it would generally work, but maybe you do have to copy velocity or something I'm missing. So when I do click it, this is the interesting bit. I'll just get rid of some of these windows. Right, so when I do click it, what am I doing here? It copies the data, but it ends up doing something like that. Now I click it again to turn it off, because this button toggles that. It'll just fall, and he's gliding off into space now. If I can select him and see what he's actually doing. I'm forgetting which one he is. There he is. Anyway, if I copy that back and go back to where I was. Now I think my app was actually crashed, so I'll pause this. No, it hadn't crashed. I need to remember that you've got to keep that hip selected there for my script to be doing it. So there you can see he's definitely working, and if I turn him off, he becomes lifeless and flies away, and you can keep turning him back on, and strange things are happening to his body and his bones. So yeah, my question is, how do I stop that happening? I want the button to make him mimic that guy, so when that guy is dead, this guy would be in the same pose and position running, but then would just collapse lifelessly to the ground. But I'm not sure why that's actually happening. but it's very interesting. I mean, there's past stuff happening from his bones, I guess, are being adjusted and adjusted and adjusted. Very interesting effects. I might even use some of this in the game, just to see. Yeah, just for some cool effects, you know, but it would be nice if I could get it to work properly, so I would expect him, as I say, to run and then just collapse when I press that button, rather than be deformed like that as well. Of course, my code could be full of errors, but if anyone has any ideas, let me know. Whoa. Anyway, I think it's time for a beer as this guy falls. Thanks for watching.